It all hit me one evening. I was sitting on my couch, scrolling through my banking app, and there it was, $48.76. Rent was due in 3 days, and my credit card was almost maxed out. I had a stable job, made decent money, but somehow, I was always broke. Funny thing? I wasn't living a fancy life. No luxury bags, no big vacations. Just small things, a few takeout meals, random Amazon buys, and subscriptions I forgot to cancel. It all added up, slowly draining my bank account without me noticing. That night, I had a choice: keep living paycheck to paycheck or change everything. I chose change. But I didn't do it by cutting out every joy. I did it by redefining what frugal living really means, not sacrifice, but spending smarter. Looking back, that $48.76 wasn't the end. It was the beginning of my journey to financial freedom. Number 1. What frugality really means in 2025. When people hear frugal living, they often think of being cheap, never eating out, and always buying the cheapest option. But in 2025, frugality means something very different. It's not about spending less, it's about spending better. Frugality today is about value-based spending. It means choosing to spend money only on what truly matters to you and skipping the rest. It's not about saying no to everything. It's about saying yes to what brings you joy, peace, and progress toward your goals. For example, I stopped buying fast fashion because it didn't last, and I didn't love the clothes anyway. Instead, I buy fewer, better quality pieces that make me feel good and last longer. I also canceled subscriptions I barely used and put that money into a travel fund because experiences mean more to me than TV shows I never watch. A recent 2025 survey showed that 72% of young adults now choose to spend more on things that align with their values, like sustainability, health, and personal growth. That's what modern frugality is about: being mindful of where your money goes so it works for you, not against you. Frugal living isn't about missing out. It's about living more fully, with less stress and more freedom. It's not just a money choice, it's a lifestyle choice. And once you embrace it, life starts to feel lighter, easier, and surprisingly richer. Number 2. The mindset shift from Fomo to Jomo. Joy of missing out. A few years ago, I was stuck in a cycle of Fomo, the fear of missing out. Every time I saw someone post a fancy dinner, a weekend trip, or the latest gadget on social media, I felt like I was falling behind. So I spent money to keep up. I'd buy clothes I didn't need, book nights out I couldn't afford, and order food instead of cooking, just to feel included. But the happiness from those purchases never lasted. The bills, though, they stuck around. That's when I discovered Jomo, the joy of missing out. It's the peace you feel when you realize you don't need to do what everyone else is doing. Instead of chasing trends, you focus on what actually makes you happy. Here's how I made the switch. I did a Fomo audit. I looked at my last 5 non-essential purchases and asked myself, did this really make my life better? Would I buy it again if no one knew I had it? The answer surprised me. Most of what I bought was for appearances, not joy. So, I started spending differently. I said no to pricey dinners I didn't enjoy and yes to quiet nights with friends. I skipped the newest phone upgrade and saved for a trip I actually cared about. The result? Less stress, more savings, and real happiness. Not the kind that disappears when the excitement wears off. FOMO made me broke. Jomo gave me freedom. And once I embraced it, I realized I wasn't missing out at all. I was finally living on my own terms. Number 3. Reclaiming time. How frugality gave me freedom. When I first started living frugally, I thought I was just saving money. But I quickly realized something surprising. I was also saving time. Before, my life felt like a never-ending race. I worked long hours, picked up extra shifts, and even tried side hustles, all to afford things I didn't really need: streaming subscriptions, takeout dinners, clothes I wore once, and random Amazon buys. I was spending my time earning money, only to waste that money on stuff that didn't make me happy. Frugality changed everything. Once I stopped spending on things that didn't matter, I didn't need to work as much. I cooked more at home and bought fewer but better quality items. Suddenly, my budget had breathing room. I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck anymore. That's when I discovered the 100-hour rule. For every $1,000 I saved, I calculated how many hours of work that money represented. If I earned $25 an hour, $1,000 meant 40 hours of work, an entire work week. Realizing this made spending decisions much easier. Every dollar saved was time I could reclaim for myself. With fewer financial worries, I cut back on overtime. I used my free time to do things I actually enjoyed, reading, hiking, and spending time with family. I even picked up hobbies I'd always wanted to try, like painting and gardening. These didn't cost much, but gave me more joy than any shopping spree ever did. Frugality didn't just improve my bank account, it gave me control over my time. I was no longer working just to keep up with my lifestyle. Instead, I was working toward a life that actually felt mine. Now, when I spend money, I ask myself, is this worth my time? If the answer is no, I skip it. Because at the end of the day, time is the one thing money can't buy, but smart, frugal choices can definitely give it back to you. Number 4. How frugality sparked creativity. Before I embraced frugal living, I believed that spending money was the only way to enjoy life. Fancy dinners, new clothes, and expensive entertainment felt like the only options for fun. But when I started cutting back, something unexpected happened. My creativity came to life. At first, I worried that saving money would make life boring. But instead of spending, I started creating. I looked for free and low-cost ways to enjoy my time. I rediscovered hobbies I had forgotten about, like writing, cooking, and drawing. These didn't just save me money, they made me feel fulfilled in a way shopping never did. One of my favorite changes was joining a swap circle with friends. We exchanged books and even skills. One friend taught me basic photography, while I helped someone else with budgeting tips. It felt like we were building a community, not just saving cash. I also started doing no-spend weekends. Instead of shopping or eating out, I explored local parks, visited free museum days, and tried new recipes at home. To my surprise, these weekends felt more meaningful than my old habits. Frugality also made me think differently about problem solving. Instead of buying new furniture, I learned to upcycle old pieces. When I wanted to redecorate, I used DIY projects and thrifted finds. Each project made me proud, not just because it was cheaper, but because I created something unique. Living frugally didn't take joy away. It gave me the chance to slow down, think creatively, and enjoy life in a more personal way. I realized that money doesn't buy happiness. Creativity does. And once you start living this way, you'll see opportunities for joy and innovation everywhere. Number 5. How small changes built wealth. When I first started living frugally, I didn't expect to build wealth. I just wanted to stop feeling broke. But small changes added up fast. And before I knew it, my savings were growing. Here's how tiny shifts made a big difference. First, I tried the 30-day rule 2.0. Whenever I wanted to buy something non-essential, I waited 30 days. If I still wanted it after a month, I'd consider it. But here's the twist. If I no longer wanted it, I took the amount I would have spent and transferred it to my savings account. In 6 months, I saved over $800 without feeling like I was missing out. Next, I set up micro-investing. I used an app that rounded up my purchases to the nearest dollar and invested the spare change. Buying coffee for $3.75, the app rounded it to $4 and invested the 25 cents. It seemed small, but by the end of the year, I had nearly $500 invested without even noticing. I also embraced eco-frugality, choosing reusable items instead of disposable ones. For example, I switched to reusable kitchen towels instead of paper towels, a $30 investment that saved me about $200 per year. I also bought a quality water bottle and stopped buying bottled water, saving another $300 annually. The most surprising win came from value-based spending. Instead of cutting out everything fun, I simply asked, does this expense make my life better? If not, I skipped it. That simple question helped me save hundreds each month while still enjoying life. A 2025 report showed that families practicing eco-frugality save an average of $3,200 a year while reducing waste. I saw that in my own life. The money I saved went into an emergency fund, investments, and even a small vacation fund. Frugality didn't just protect my wallet, it built my future. These small changes gave me peace of mind, freedom from debt, and a sense of control I'd never had before. And the best part? It didn't feel hard. It felt empowering. Number 6. The emotional shift. Peace over possessions. When I first started living frugally, I thought it was just about saving money. But the biggest change wasn't in my bank account, it was in my mind. I discovered that owning less gave me more peace. Before, my life was full of stuff, clothes I barely wore, gadgets I didn't use, and things I bought just because they were on sale. My home felt cluttered, and so did my mind. Every time I saw my credit card bill, I felt stressed and trapped. But as I cut back and focused only on what truly mattered, life got simpler. My space felt calmer, my budget felt easier, and my mind felt lighter. Frugality taught me that peace doesn't come from possessions. It comes from freedom. Freedom from debt, from clutter, and from the constant pressure to buy more. And once I felt that peace, I never wanted to go back. Looking back, frugal living didn't just change my finances, it changed my life. Frugality isn't about sacrifice, it's about freedom. It's choosing peace over possessions, time over trends, and joy over junk. If you're feeling stuck, start small. Cut what doesn't serve you, keep what does, and watch how life gets richer in ways money can't buy. You'll never want to go back. Now, if you want to learn how to achieve financial success, then watch this video next. If you made it to this point in the video, please like and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.